Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing today on this lovely sunny Thursday, as it will be when you watch this assembly? It struck me today, this morning, that this week might well be the last week of virtual assemblies, which is going to be very strange for me. I was looking on our assemblies YouTube site, and I think it's 176 assemblies that I've recorded this year, just to keep us all feeling connected and to help me to have the chance to kind of talk to you, whether you're at home or at school. So I've loved it in many ways, but I'm very much looking forward to hopefully, fingers crossed, in September, us being back together in the hall. So you're actually there and I can ask you questions and you can contribute as well, so that will be lovely. So all this week we've been getting in the mood for summer holidays, with our stories have all had a setting by the sea, and today is no exception. I've got a brand new book. I think I was telling Joshua in year one about this yesterday, and it's all about mermaids and mermen. Now, mermaids and mermen, they're mythical creatures, and they go back hundreds of years, with people thinking that they had sightings of them. And of course, there's a lot of popular films these days, including The Little Mermaid, the Disney film, which has been made in a cartoon and in a live action, hasn't it? Which is really popular. Some great songs in that story. But today, our story is quite similar to the story of The Little Mermaid, but this time it's about a merman called Nen. Here's Nen over here, very lovely merman. And it's about a fisherman called Ernest, and it's their story, which is set in the sea and out of the sea as well. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a brand new book, this one, brand new storybook by some new illustrators and authors. So the story today is Nen and the Lonely Fisherman. Enjoy. Oh, the first page is all portrait instead of landscape. Far out to sea, deep below the whispering waves, there once lived a merman called Nen. Nen loved exploring the ancient wild depths, the gliding fish, the shimmering sand, and the ghostly sunken ships. But something was missing. His heart felt empty. So there's the surface of the sea, going all the way down beneath the ocean waves, and there's Nen with the fish and a shipwreck. But even though he loves the sea, something is missing, and his heart felt empty. But I can guess what's missing. I think it might be a friend. Let's see. So at night, Nen sang a sad song, and the twinkling stars whispered his words of hope across the ocean. But Nen's song was smothered by heavy clouds, and he returned to the seabed alone. And every night, Nen's father, Pelagios, let's just go for that again. Every night, Nen's father, Pelagios, watched his son leave their underwater kingdom, and every night he pleaded with him to stay away from the world above. But Nen ignored his father's warnings, and each night returned to the rock to sing his sad song out of the sea and onto the rocky surface. Oh, eventually somebody's going to hear that song, I think. And just like in The Little Mermaid, Nen's father doesn't want him to go up to the surface and the land. He wants him to stay in the sea. As he began to explore the world beyond his own, Nen noticed rows of fishing boats bobbing on the waves. And just beyond those fishing boats, there lived a lonely fisherman called Ernest. He spent his days rescuing, freeing, collecting, dreaming, and creating. Let's see how Ernest spends his days there. Can you see? Rescuing some birds that have gotten caught in nets, freeing, collecting, and thinking and creating. So it looks like he makes all sorts of things from the things he finds in the sea. But every night Ernest gazed out to sea and wondered if something more was waiting for him just beyond the horizon. And then, one still, clear night, he heard something drifting over the sighing ocean, something beautiful and mysterious. And if we look really closely in this picture here, I think I can see Nen's tail there. And Ernest finally has heard Nen's song. How lovely. It was Nen's song. It was so tender and brimming with such courage that a long-forgotten feeling stirred inside the lonely fisherman's heart. Filled with excitement, Ernest set off to find out who this magical voice belonged to. He searched and searched the swirling sea waves and became aware of someone hiding just out of sight. A ripple, a shimmer, a flicker. Could it be? Now, I don't know about you children, if I came across a merman or a mermaid, I would be a little surprised. Let's see what Ernest thinks. I think he's going to finally meet Nen with the beautiful voice. Could it be a merman? Yes. The silver moon shone down on Nen's hair, and glittering salt-splashed jewels made Ernest's eyes sparkle. As the soft nighttime breeze wrapped around them, they both felt their hope turn to happiness. Goodness me, he looks a bit surprised there, does Ernest, seeing his first merman. But then it looks like they had a good old chat. Look at those jellyfish down there and the fish. And got on well with each other. They both felt their hope turn to happiness. His face etched with worry, Pelagios begged his son again to stay away from the humans in the world above. They were destroying the precious oceans. But Nen knew that Ernest was different. So he returned each night to see him in his rickety boat. Together they would talk and laugh and dream while the skies changed from a golden amber to an inky purple. One night, as Nen swam back to the hidden world, far beneath the ocean's surface, Pelagios could no longer control his frustration with his son, who's not following his rules. Oh, Pelagios, I think he was the god of the sea. I think he's got the capability to make storms and make the sea really rough. Tears of anger and sadness began to fall, and great clouds gathered. Thunder roared. Splinters of lightning were flung across the sea, and poor Ernest was thrown from his rickety boat into the raging sea. Oh, Pelagios, just like in The Little Mermaid, where her father got really cross with her, didn't he, to begin with. And oh no, there's Ernest being thrown into the sea out of his boat. Shouldn't have done that, Pelagios, even though you were sad and angry. Nen fought through the churning, lashing tempest in a desperate search for his fishermen. Down, down, down he swam into the dark depths of the ocean. But there was no sign of Ernest. There's Nen, been looking for his friend, past the fish, past the octopus, but so far there's no sign of Ernest. Come on, Nen, you need to find him. You need to save him. Nen struggled upwards through the violent waves. Suddenly he spotted something just out of reach. A gasp, a kick, a splash. Could it be? Oh, look, is that Ernest's feet? Maybe it's not too late to save him, Nen. Not if you swim really, really fast. Ernest! He was battered by the waves, broken and lifeless. As the sea slowly calmed and the hazy sun peeked through the clouds, Nen carried his fisherman to the shore and waited. Ernest looks in a bad way, look. And there's Nen, who's rescued him and taken him to the shore. Come on, Ernest. Come on, Ernest, you can make it. And waited. And to his relief, Ernest finally woke with a cough and a splutter. He smiled, looking up into Nen's worried eyes. Pelagios wondered if perhaps, just maybe, Ernest was different after all. I think so, Pelagios. I think you're going to have to let them be friends. Now, as he looks out across the calm sea, Ernest is no longer lonely. With a splash and a flick of a tail, Nen is there waiting by the shore. And under each dazzling blue sky, while the seagulls dive and squawk, Nen and Ernest laugh and dream and talk about the future. Oh, what a happy ending. And there's one of our favourite symbols of hope, our beautiful rainbow. And there's Ernest and Nen, who were able to be friends after all, and neither of them is lonely anymore. Oh, that was a great story. I think that's the last page. I'll just double check. Oh yeah, a lovely picture of a rainbow to finish there. There you go. I've had lots of stories about mermaids, but never had one about a merman, so that was something a bit different, wasn't it? So there you go. So tomorrow will be Friday. There's no good work assembly tomorrow. Instead, I'm going to read one last story, and particularly which will help me to say goodbye to all of you for the summer, and in particular to say goodbye to our beautiful Year Sixers, who are all ready to go on to their secondary school after this Friday. So I'll see you for the last story of the year, which, guess what? It's got a rainbow in it. Of course it has. It's been our theme this year, and I'll see you. I look forward to that. It's another new story, and we'll have our last possible virtual assembly together in the morning. So bye for now. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.